know that every time you play the Oklahoma Lottery, you're helping educate kids like me? Did you know that the lottery has contributed?
You've probably seen the commercial meant to quiet any doubts about lottery money actually getting into Oklahoma classrooms.
But is it telling the whole story? Oklahoma Impact's Alex Cameron decided to do some fact-checking.
The executive director of the Oklahoma Lottery tells me that ad was a direct response to skepticism that lottery proceeds were really going to education. Well, it may have satisfied some skeptics, but it's also raised other questions about lottery funding and about the ad's truthfulness.
75,000 computers.
The ad ticks off an impressive list of items that $300 million in lottery proceeds could buy. 1.5 million library books, 450,000 microscopes.
1,500 school buses!
Give me 5 quick picks.
It is true, lottery proceeds for education are now more than $300 million, but that's over 4 years.
The ads should say that we've averaged $67.8 million a year, and in any given year we could buy X number of buses or whatever. And of course they don't do that.
Longtime lottery critic Forrest Claunch says the ad is misleading, even though it uses the word could. Because, he says, even if lottery money could have paid for all those things, which it hasn't, there would be no way for school districts to prove it.
They can't tell you exactly how much money came to them from the lottery. That's not the way it's dispersed. Most people don't have a clue where the money's going.
By law, 35 cents of every dollar spent on a lottery ticket does go to education. Of that, 45% goes to common education. Last year, that amount was about $30 million. But here's the key. That money isn't kept separate from other common ed funding. It's thrown in with all the state formula money.
At which point it loses its identity. So when people say how much is X school getting, each school getting for lottery, it's very hard to tell.
Assistant State Superintendent James White says last year a task force studied the possibility of making it easier to tell by not throwing the lottery money in with the formula funds, but decided against it.
The problem with that is once we pull $30 million out of the formula, we have to find a new source of revenue to replace that $30 million into the formula.
State Senator Richard LeBlanc, who has a bill to try and increase the lottery's payout to education, doesn't see the need to treat lottery funds any differently than other baseline funding streams.
Do we track every dollar where it's spent for? The money goes to corrections, the money goes to public safety, the money goes to mental health, the Department of Human Services. We don't track those dollars like that.
One person who wishes the state would track the dollars more closely is the head of the lottery, who says he's frequently asked how much lottery money is going to a specific school.
Ideally, I'd like to be able to say to anybody, say, tell me your school district, and I can go find out exactly how much your school district's getting, but we can't do that.
State education officials do have estimates of how much money each district is getting. For example, they estimate Jenks got about $450,000 from the lottery last year, while Norman got $659,000. It sounds like maybe that would be enough to buy some school buses and computers, except for this fact. 85% of formula money goes to pay salaries.
If you're spending 85% of the funding that you're getting from the Lottery Commission on salaries, you're not spending it on school buses or books or computers. And that alone means that the ad is misleading.
We don't want to mislead anyone. The whole idea, and I walked you through it, was to try to be able to say to people here in Oklahoma, yes, your money is going to education, and it's doing good things.
Thanks for your investment in Oklahoma's future.
On top of those who say the ad's misleading, others say its use of children to promote the lottery, gambling, is inappropriate. And Representative Harold Wright has a bill this session that would prohibit that in the future. It easily passed out of committee earlier this week. For Oklahoma Impact, I'm Alex Cameron.
All right, Alex, and we'll keep you updated on that bill. Now turning